Says that it's starting in second.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. My name is Austin,
Harold.
and we're on episode 4 of Bricks Podcast. It was like yesterday we started. I mean, we kind of did just start, but for already having 4 episodes, I feel like that's pretty good.
I'm with you there.
I think it's pretty cool.
I'm like, wow, 4 episodes. That's pretty cool.
I know, that's 4 hours. That's 4 hours of shit that we made already. So today we're going to be talking about a couple things in recent events. Daddy Trump is back in office. He's back and he's ready for action.
MAGA, make America great again.
Yep, 45th president and now the 47th president of the United States. And we're going to share our opinions on that. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So, Dad, what do you think?
I want to ask you first,
Yeah.
and I want to ask all the audience out there. We want to hear from you. So if you have a chance, write in. But the first thing, what do you think about birthright citizenship?
Just so I'm correct
Yeah.
before I speak about it. So, birthright citizenship is, let's say, two illegals come into the country and they give birth, you're automatically. Is that right?
The child.
The child is.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Hmm.
And also very important, if you're born to American citizens, like say, Austin, you were in Japan,
Right.
and you met a girl, and you guys were both U.S. citizens. You had a baby born abroad. The baby's a U.S. citizen. Did you know that?
Yeah.
If one of the
It
parents
follows the nationality of.
Yeah. I researched that. That's pretty cool stuff. But one of the things that is really getting my goat on this issue is President Trump wants to do away with that. It's in the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment's very, very clear.
That if you're born on United States soil, you are
American citizen.
American citizen.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like there's a couple aspects to it, right? There's the illegal formality of it. You have two people coming into the country just on the purpose of having a child in U.S. soil. That way, that child has a right to be here or be a citizen. If that makes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the correct formality, which is your two U.S. citizens having a child in a hospital here, and they're automatic. Um, I don't know. I think it could be a good thing. Oh,
Well, I think that's the basis for the formation of our democracy, of our country. Everybody came here. Anybody you can think of came here and had children, and those children became U.S. citizens.
right.
And for somebody to say, I'm going to do away with that, I'm going to say, screw the Constitution, I really don't think you can do that.
Right.
I think the main problem with the whole thing is if somebody has a child here in the United States and they're illegal, do they leave their kid here or do they just go to another country?
Right. And I think that's what the main reason behind getting rid of it is because a lot of the illegal aliens that are in our country are based here only because they have children that are U.S. citizens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Those family ties, maybe back in the day, weren't as big, but now those family ties are leading to different, maybe criminal activities. That's what I could maybe think of. Maybe that's why he's trying to get rid of it. I'm not too sure.
But I believe in the Constitution that says you have a kid here on U.S. soil, that kid is a U.S.
U.S.
citizen.
citizen.
Deal with everything else outside of that. You born here in the United States, you're a U.S. citizen. Um, it's gonna go all the way up to the Supreme Court. I think. I don't think he
Well,
can legally. He signed an executive order, but I don't know that he that can be.
let me give you a different scenario,
Yeah,
right? Let's say you and me were on two different teams, okay? And I knew that your team was going to win, but I'm working against you the entire time until the fourth quarter. I'm working against you the entire time. And then a minute until the first quarter and you guys win, I decided to jump over to the other side. I decide, you know what? I'm going to go to the winning team. This is where I want to go. But that whole process, as we're working against each other in the first and the second and the third quarter, is it okay for me to be on your team fourth quarter when you're about to win? You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I think that is kind of what the premise is sure, you know, I do believe that if you're born on US soil, you should become a citizen, 100%. But it's based on the premise. If you're crossing the border illegally or you're flying in from a different country illegally just on the basis of having a child and giving him or her the citizenship, you're not doing it for the right reason. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what they're trying to funnel or narrow down
Uh,
to avoid people doing. I don't know.
I think you know what we deport. I think the case is if the child's born here, the child's an American citizen. But if the
Right.
parents want to take the child back to wherever they came from, they have that right. But later on in life, that child's still an American citizen. And I think they should deport the parents, and the parents need to make a decision what they want to do with the child. Bring them here, leave them with family members or whatever. But the parents got to go.
Yeah. No, I agree, but then what does that leave with the child? You
Yeah,
know,
it's tough.
now you're saying like to come and have a child, and that child would be a US citizen, but parents gotta go, and now we're facing an epidemic of orphans, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Hmm.
which I guess you could say is which evil is better than the other, you know? And that's the answer that I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, I think the main thing is you have to look at the constitutionality of the whole thing. The 14th Amendment. Can he just violate the 14th Amendment? You know,
Right. Right. Yeah,
I
it's
it's funny because I was listening to Bill Barr, the last the Attorney General, and you know, he and Trump left in not so much good terms,
right.
and he was trying to defend Trump's position. So it it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I think you could definitely see it from either perspective, but I think at the end of the day, yeah, it's a hard decision to make,
Yeah, I'd like to hear people's comments on that when you guys watch the podcast. Leave us a comment, tell
Yeah,
us what you think, and next time when we get online,
we'll go over
we
the
can yeah we can
comments.
go over it and see what
100%.
other people think about it.
Yeah. Um, a couple of other things from the inauguration the other day. Um, Trump officially declared that there were only two genders in the United States. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like we needed that. I feel like that was a win.
I agree 100% with you.
I have no hate towards anyone that decides to switch genders or be whatever they want to be. But at the same time, I think we need to be a society based in realism and facts. And to say that I could wake up one day and be T-Rex and have to respect my right to be T-Rex. It's outlandish.
You're absolutely right. I don't understand how if you identify as a female and you're this big hulking dude, you can go on to a female sporting team and and participate.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
Like go play. I I don't even see how that is a like a thing that you have to think about. Men are playing with women and women are playing with men. It makes no sense at all.
yeah.
And the only reason that we cater to it is because we've been a society for the past 4 years where we cater to people's feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's wrong. Like in my opinion, I believe it's wrong. Why are we catering to feelings? We should be catering to facts. I have no problem if they had their own division to play in. We're a bunch of trans people playing their own division. I don't know.
The best thing I heard, and
What's up,
this is,
Nick?
I'll throw this at you, this scenario. You have a female or a male that identifies as a female and they want to go into a women's locker room and change and be around all the other females when you're a male. Now, one of the things I heard from the show I was watching was where are the rights of the females that are in that locker room? They're in that locker room with one dude, and the dude says, "I should have every right to be in this locker room because I identify as a girl."
Right.
But what about all the girls in there that are looking at this guy and saying,
I'm uncomfortable.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that it's unfortunate. I think it's something that we glazed past or we gazed past, where we don't fight for those women's rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're quick to say like, oh, like you can't get an abortion, you can't do this, and you can't do that. But when it comes to their comfortability in their own bathroom, it's not even up for discussion. Uh, the government is almost scared of hurting these LGBT's feelings, these liberal feelings, and it's like we're not going to get anything achieved. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely." I agree 100% with you.
I think it's a mess. I don't think that like Donald Trump's not my favorite guy in the world, but there's some values that he holds that I also share with him, and that primarily being the two genders conspiracy or yeah, 100%.
I agree. I'm not the best of fans of Donald Trump, but I like the things that he's doing coming in on a second term, and you know, opening up these topics for discussion for the majority. When it comes down to it, it's what does the majority of the people think when he pushes these buttons.
Right,
You know,
right. Yeah. Um, I think majority of the people in the United States are a fan of Trump. I don't think that they're a fan of Trump because of Trump. I think they're a fan of Trump because of Biden. I think
exactly.
I think Biden's image has always been not always, I'll say in his later years has always been kind of muddy. And people are like, we're gonna listen to this guy, we're gonna listen to this old man. He can't even walk. So I think that's why a lot of people tend to flock towards Donald. He's more confidently spoken. He has more intelligible thoughts. So
And he brings up the issues of the day, and he says, "Let's talk about these issues that are primary." And the thing that he's doing is he's saying, I'm going with the majority of the people. What do they like? What are,
right,
what are their opinion?
right,
And I think the Democrats have a big look in the mirror coming, and they gotta they have to move themselves away from the left
Right.
and more towards the centrist. But I think that's what Donald Trump's doing.
Right.
You know?
I feel like almost the Democratic Party is gone. You
Yeah.
know, they don't have a voice like they did before. You know, Barack Obama, he was the voice of the Democratic Party. And now, who do you have leading the Democratic Party?
No one. There's no one there.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have anyone, and the people that you do have has resemblance with Joe Biden. They're either old, they can't talk. Look at Mitch McConnell. You know, he can't hold a conversation without spacing out.
Mm-hmm.
And people are coming like starting to realize that that's not the kind of leader that they want. The Democratic Party's gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone. Um, but we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens in the next coming of years. But
Well, you know what? And that's the thing. The clock's ticking. The Democrats have 2 years,
yeah,
and if they don't do something radical and drastic in those 2 years, they're just gonna continue to go down the sewer.
yep,
You know, Joe Biden's gone, Kamala Harris is gone.
right,
Now it's time to bring up the next generation, and that next generation can't cater to the left. The next generation needs to come more to the center and bring some some topics that I hope to God that Donald Trump changes this country for the good. Um, you know, brings back the economy. I was just talking to your mother, and we were talking about the price of eggs. The price of eggs has skyrocketed.
I think it's like $8 now.
Yeah, yeah, a
Yeah,
dozen eggs, $8. You know,
nuts.
gas is $3 and almost 30 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
You know,
In California, it was like $6 a gallon.
yeah, can you
Yeah,
imagine that? $6 a gallon.
insane,
That's craziness.
insane.
So hopefully we're going to go into the strategic reserve. We're going to start using our gas, and gas prices are going to come down. Everything's going to come down.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
Donald Trump said, drill, baby, drill.
drill, baby, drill.
I
I
will
agree
resonate with
with
that.
that. I
Drill
agree with
that
it.
fucking oil. It's been sitting
Yes.
there and we're not using it. And at the end of the day, we're hurting our own, you know? Instead of sending all this money to foreign wars, I did an essay on this a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, where instead of sending all these funds to foreign wars and foreign allies or countries, we're not like, what are we doing here at home? Our troops aren't taken care of. You know, they live like shit. Uh, gas prices, inflation overall. What are we doing? What happened to America first? You know?
Exactly. Exactly. You got to
So
put America first.
yeah, 100%.
Concentrate on the American people.
Right.
And I'm enthused. I'm ecstatic. I'm glad. I'm happy to see day number one. Day number one hit the ground running.
Yep. 78 executive orders signed on day one.
Is that not crazy?
Insane.
I want to bring up. I know I was going to start with this, but I was going to bring it up. The January 6th rioters.
Yeah.
He commuted 500. I mean, not 500, 1,500 people. Now, I'm sure. I'm sure that some, if not most of those people, peacefully did whatever they did and shouldn't have been prosecuted. But there's some people. And I'm a cop. I'm a retired deputy sheriff, and there were people that were assaulted, killed that shouldn't have been, and he just commuted their sentence.
Yeah. He just did the
Yeah, you're pardoned. You're done. And that I want to hear feedback on that because you know what do you think? I totally I'm you know I would have looked at the cases have the Department of Justice look at the
Do a
1,500
review
cases and
or
review them and say these people needed to be, um, their sentence needed to be, these people didn't need their sentence, but to just give, and for him, he called them hostages.
yeah,
Hostages. That 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 gets my goat. I mean, as much as I'm happy for the things that Trump's doing, this is one thing that really hurt my feelings. Hurt.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about it.
So from a strategic standpoint, it was very smart. I believe that a lot of his followers, a lot of the people that said I'm a diehard Trump fan, they're like, you know what? Those guys are hostages. You know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of his community, a lot of his following are the same people that believe that they did nothing wrong, that they were upholding the Constitution and protecting democracy. That's what they thought they were doing. And for Trump, it's kind of a rock and a hard place. It's, do I cater to my following, right? And do I tell them before I get inaugurated that I'm going to pardon them? Or do I not pardon them and lose half of my supporters? You know what I'm saying? So, from a strategic standpoint, I think it was smart. I think that he played the only card that he had. I think that card won him the election. Is it the right thing to do? No, I wish there would have been a little bit more of a selective process as of which who would be pardoned. But at the end of the day, you know, he won, and that's how he won. He won by those people who thought that they were hostages, and he used them to win the presidency. Plain and simple.
Throw this at you. He can't run again.
No.
So why do it?
Well, let me tell you this. Who's to say that within 2 to 3 years, Trump's not going to say, I am going to stay as president?
That's a very good question.
Who's going to say?
That's a very,
I'm not
very
going to
good
leave
question.
my seat as president. Who supports me? And guess what? He just locked in his support from all of his supporters that believe that they are hostages. And now he has almost like a cult following.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, it was a very strategic, not right, but it was very strategic, smart move by Donald Trump to secure the confidence of the American people. You
Your
know what I'm
brother
saying?
keeps calling in.
You wanna step out? I
Yeah,
could
let me
talk to him.
step out for a minute.
If you guys have any questions, please feel free to send them out. If you guys haven't already, if you guys could share the podcast to other people, we'd love to have a conversation with all of you. So, Nick, I'm not too sure if you're there still, but I'm just gonna be looking through messages here on. What do you guys think about the inauguration? You guys for Trump, against Trump? The dealio here. Who's excited for this Chiefs game though? I I am excited for the Chiefs game. You have no idea. Nick, come in. Nick, if you want to come and chill, you can. How do I like Rivals so far? Rivals is actually really fun. I like it. It's a reskin of Overwatch, but I like it. I don't give a I liked Overwatch too, but I got bored of it. But yeah, Marvel Rivals is fun. I'll probably live stream it later. All right, welcome back, Dad.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
Okay, so back to discussion. So, but do you get where I'm coming from as far as the strategy aspect of it.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy, and I've thought about that.
Fun.
Is he going to posture for a third term?
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. Who stands by him, who doesn't.
Right. And he really has these next couple of years to solidify his following, but it's scary. One of the I don't know if it's an
Someone was
amendment.
detected at your front door.
Oh, Garrett's here. Here, Dad, could you go get him real quick? Um, Nick, yeah, I don't have like a main. I do have a main, so it's the Punisher, but don't hate on me. I also like um, who is it? Star-Lord. I love Star-Lord, man. I could shred up some people. If you want to play live later, we could play live. Let's see, Garrett. Is this? Garrett. Everybody, on the stream, this is Garrett Gold. Garrett is pretty much the creator of everything.
Not true.
He makes the clips and he sets up the mic. He's everything. So
I'm amazed by the things that Garrett can do.
Yeah, Garrett is just a gangster, and shout out to Garrett.
Shout out to Garrett.
Let's give Garrett a hand.
Yeah. You know what? I'm seeing us all over the internet because of Garrett. It's pretty cool.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm a neophyte. I only see like certain things. I'm not on all the platforms that you're on.
Yeah.
But everything, I pull up TikTok and there we are. It's because of Garrett.
Yeah.
We've posted many more clips.
Yeah, but Garrett is the real guy. Garrett's the real guy here. Okay, so let's fill you in real quick, Garrett, because I think this is something that you'll want to hop in on. So how about you, Philman? Because
we're talking about Trump, and we're talking about the birthright citizenship. I don't know if you know about that. He challenged if you're born in the United States, you're an American citizen. He signed an executive order that said
editor, yeah,
happening. The other thing we're talking about is the January 6th rioters. He pardoned all 1,500 of them and commuted some more sentences. And how do you feel about that? I'm very, because I'm a retired law enforcement officer, I know that there were cops that were killed. There were people that were injured. I'm very adamant about that. He should have taken it case by case basis. But then Austin brings up a very good point that, I think this is his last term. He can't do anymore. But what if he has different ideas in mind? Maybe I want to do another term and fuck the Constitution.
I basically said that he decided to do that to cater to his audience, to his following. That way he had a more solidified support group. You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely
as far as strategy is concerned, it was definitely the most better option for him to carry out.
I think he did it because they love him. I think
Yeah.
that's why. And there were like 6 cases where it is like by a kid. 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard, huh?
I would not have pardoned all 1,500, but I would have definitely I don't know. I have no idea if whoever got arrested, how much damage they really did,
Right.
But definitely the people who were at the front of the Capitol breaking it and
Acting
getting
like
inside.
menaces.
If you were
and
inside
shit,
the
yeah.
Capitol, you should be in jail.
Absolutely.
On that day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you 100% on that. I, and you bring up a very good point. Trump likes to feed that ego, you know, and you make a very good point that it's a strategic point, but you know, the 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 thing down the center is he really going to have that kind of support that would, garner him a third term?
100%.
I think it's possible for him to have a third.
Well, it is. It's definitely possible. That's what we were just about to get into. There is an act where if the country is at war, that the sitting president will continue his term until the end of that war. So I don't think we're gonna see anything as far as screw the Constitution, I'm gonna do another third term, but I do think it's very possible that we're gonna see something on the lines of we're now engaged in an active war and he's gonna be the sitting president until he sees fit.
Yeah, but
That's what I could see as a possibility.
he could have done that in 2020 because we were in a war with Afghanistan.
Well, I think in 2020 he believed that
He
he
was
was
going
going
to
to
win.
win.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the difference. He's not going to take that chance this time. He's not. If I'm thinking of a strategic aspect of it, he's not going to risk, losing to the people. He's going to shove it to them.
If you see Trump as someone who only wants power, I could see that happening. Definitely being a real possibility. But I don't know if that country, I like he's anti-war pretty much.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't.
Well, let me throw this at you. He's putting all these people in his cabinet. The last time he was in power, he had people in his cabinet that weren't 100% with him, weren't 100% loyal. And now he's putting people in that are going to be loyal to him.
Yeah.
That's the litmus test. Your loyalty. He learned from past mistakes. Look at Mark. Was it not Mark Milley? Milley?
Mike Pence.
Yeah, but that's a perfect example. Mike Pence wouldn't go from his and wasn't loyal. But the one person, the one branch that you need in order to have a dictatorship is what? Come on, guys, tell me what. The one branch that I'm thinking of.
Second.
I'm talking the military.
Oh, yeah.
You need the military in order. And he didn't have Milley. Milley walked out with him, said, "What am I doing?" And turned around. What did they do on this first day? They took Milley's picture down off the Pentagon wall. What's Pete Hegseth? He's
Right.
putting people in that are loyal to him, that are
Right.
gonna,
It's a I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Exactly. And if you don't do what I say, if you're not on Team Trump, then I'm going to get somebody that's going to be on Team Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Republican Party has changed so much. I remember when I would look at going to be president and who's going to be in office, and they kind of look like they feel like the same people, just with different ideas
Right.
how to get to the same place.
Right.
But now it's I don't know what to. Definitely, there's some showmanship on this side now.
It's a show.
Yeah.
It's a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And who could watch my show more? That's what it is. It's competition. I was telling him earlier that the Democratic Party, where are they? Who's in charge of them? First of all, who's their lead?
I don't know. I mean, my mom had it. I think Obama's running right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who's actually running?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I feel like we're getting to a point where there's no longer bipartisanship. That's because of the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
They need to get their shit together. They need to find their voice, and they need to push their ideas out to people. Because right now, the last 6 months we've been shoveled in our mouths is pro guns, anti abortion, fuck the immigrants, and that's it.
That's true. That has been like the discourse for like
Yeah,
recently. It's
yeah. I mean, that's all we hear nowadays. What are the Democrats saying?
It's that you make a great point. You too. Who's running the Democratic Party? They're they're they need leadership. They need somebody to come up and take hold. You know, Donald Trump is solidly in charge of the Republican Party, and he's solidly running them the way he wants it to be run.
Right.
And that loyalty pact is there. The Democrats don't have anybody that's running them. They don't have, who's the speaker that they keep trying to get the Speaker of the House. What's his
I know
name? He
here's.
wore sneakers yesterday. Did you see that?
Oh, are you talking about
Hakeem Jeffries.
this with the basketball shorts, the basketball
No,
shorts?
that was the other guy, the
Oh,
guy
the
from
senator.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the senator of
But
Pennsylvania.
Hakeem Jeffries, that always gets 213 votes. All the Democrats vote for him, but he's got no voice. I've never heard the guy talk.
Yeah.
And it was funny. He wore sneakers too. It was pretty cool.
W in the chat. I also want to highlight. You watched the inauguration?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to highlight. Usually in past inaugurations, the cabinet of the presidency would be sitting in the front row. This year, all the tech moguls sat in the front row. So Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Google, all these large tech companies are now sitting in the front. They're in front of the cabinet.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah, now it's in plain sight.
That's the oligarchy. That's who's going to be running this country.
They run the country now.
Yeah.
Trump was always pretty transparent about that. Like he was always like I'm pro billionaire, let's all help the billionaires.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like it makes me a little nervous because these people in the front row, these tech moguls, they facilitate and they manipulate information to us. The only way that we have our information nowadays is through TikTok, Google, Instagram, and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now that this information is being controlled by presidency, like what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying?
Did you? I don't know if you guys heard. Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, Vivek
is gone. He's going to run for office.
Yeah, he's going to run for governor of Ohio.
And
W for him.
And this is big W.
Yeah.
But here's the flip side of that. I don't know if you know about Doge, but Doge took its first legal battle hit. Somebody suing them, saying that they're not a legit government agency, and if they're a legit government agency, they have to follow certain rules.
Yeah.
So somebody came out and just yesterday, right after the inauguration, somebody filed papers in the court system to challenge Doge.
Wow.
Yeah, big deal.
Wow.
Big a lot deal. Of shit happening.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
It just let the dominoes fall. That's what's gonna happen.
It's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah. But I definitely think, and maybe you guys would agree with me, but the trajectory of the country is now facing somewhat of an upward slope. Would you agree or disagree?
Financially, maybe, but like, I don't know. Like, talking about borders, maybe, but yeah, no, I really hope that like people aren't gonna get hurt, or like, I really want people to have humane, like experiences. Gonna get deported, like,
right?
Yeah, no. This turns fascist. That would be.
I think that's a very good point that you bring up, and I think it's also very realistic that could happen. I think right now Donald Trump has the opportunity to show not only the American people, but he also has the capability to show anyone who thinks of illegally migrating, this is what will happen to you if you do this. And it could go either way.
I just hope he has like and time and plan it out, you know, like because it's giant.
Yeah. I think yesterday he said that he was giving full authority to like local police stations and like the federal government to decide how to take care of this issue. Um, how that's going to be taken care of, I don't know. I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to see.
I don't know
So,
enough about the immigration process.
me neither. Me neither.
Well, I think if you cross the border and you get caught, they gotta put them right back where they came from. You make a very good point. What happens when they're settled here in the United States? You know, where what you know how are you going to send, you know, these immigrations, customs enforcement, and all these border patrols? Are you going to send them to these inner cities and gather up people and deport them? Uh, very, how do you do that?
They got violent, and I wasn't sure if I should have voted for Trump because of that, even though my vote mattered. Like, as what you were saying, that like immigration is illegal, you know, and
yeah,
like that's what, like I get it, like, but it's really it's dragging people at something. There's
yeah,
people that are not going to want to go, and they're,
right.
you
Well,
know,
let me tell you guys this. So, if a man goes and commits murder, right? Or let's say it's a serial killer, killed someone 20 years ago, do you think he should be put in prison?
Yeah, there's no statute of limitations on murder.
Right? I mean, and this is just me personally, I feel like if you know that you're coming here on a risk of being caught, then you should also be accountable for the actions that you're doing. You have to eventually say, you know what? I'm taking accountability, and I knew that this might happen one day, and I know it sucks, and I know it's some people, and it might not be fair, but I think at the end of the day, we have to really uphold the law, you know?
oh yeah, and but like those people that are being deported are never like they're never going.
Right, and I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to, but in a realistic world or a perfect world, you would think that they'd have common sense to what what's gonna happen if I get caught? Like what should I cross the border? Should I risk it? And that's something that they should have thought about a long time ago. My sympathy goes out the window once they cross the border. You know what I'm saying? If they want to come to the country, do it legally. But if you're gonna do it illegally, then you've already assumed the risks. It's already been done.
But yeah, just to the counter on that, you have people that are chasing the American dream.
Yep. Well, if you
You
want
know,
to,
I think we all agree that, you know, the rapists, murderers, the thieves need to go back to where they come from.
right?
But the people that are chasing their dreams, you know, who knows? And two other interesting points, you know, what's going to happen when one of these enforcement agents tries to deport somebody that's a U.S. citizen?
Right. That's going to
Yeah.
happen a lot. It's
Yeah,
going to be someone,
yeah.
profiling.
And
Yeah.
the second thing is, and we saw this in World War II when the Germans, when the German government fell and everything. We took all the scientists
Yeah.
and we made them American citizens. because we wanted what's in their minds. And now, what about people that come over here and they're the minds of their country, the scientists, the doctors, and sure, most of them probably come over right way because they have the means to do that, but some of them don't, and we want them here. So what are we going to do to keep them here?
I do think that there's going to be like deals for. I
Yeah,
really don't know how that works.
I'm sure
but
there will be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's what is it, clemency, I believe it's called. Um, I it's hard. I think for me, it's as easy as black and white. There's illegal. There's an illegal way to do things, and there's a legal way to do things. If you do the illegal things, then you automatically accept the risk. If you do it the legal way, then go live your American dream. You know what I'm saying? But to break the law, it just sets an example that we're okay with.
I'm happy that they're putting the barriers up, and I don't think you can ever stop the influx that's coming in. I don't think a wall or a barricade is ever going to stop people, because people are always going to find a way to circumvent those barriers.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Or tunnels,
Or tunnels or
planes.
whatever.
Yeah.
But at least we're slowing it down, maybe hopefully to a trickle.
Yeah. Yeah. I do remember I was watching probably about like a month or two ago, is a lot of these illegal immigrants are actually doing the jobs that we don't want to do. And that's what I would say is like the pro side of things is
not at all. Like, I think that once we do get them out, like, as horrible as it sounds,
that's terrible, Gary. Why would you say that? I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
to promote young people or anybody who needs money to, work
Go get a
those
job.
type of jobs. Like,
Yeah.
and pay them a good wage.
Yeah.
That's also important.
Right.
Well, let me tell you this, and being an ex-cop and working in our area, we have a large agricultural culture out west, and most of it's made up of migrants, and those migrants travel with the crops, and they're all illegal, they're all paid under the table, and some of the things that I saw with these people, they would get paid in a check or they would get paid in cash, and they couldn't bring all their money to a bank, so they carried it with them. Or the check that they got, they couldn't cash because they were illegal, so they went to these stores who paid them pennies on the dollar. But the point I'm trying to make with that is these migrants, they were all illegal, and there's a whole different way of life. But all of those people were doing jobs in the United States that nobody else wanted.
That's what I thought.
And there's two factors with that. Number one, the labor that they had to do. And number two, the wage. We don't pay those people much. The minimum wage is what, $8? They want to make it $15. There's no way to pay all of those migrants $20 plus an hour. So the problem that we're going to have is when we get rid of those people, if we could get rid of those people, we're going to get rid of whole underworld of things that go on, but we're going to have to pay people an exorbitant wage to do what they do, and it's going to drive the whole ecosystem up.
Yeah, kind of like slavery.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly. You have these leeches that feed on these poor people because they're all illegal. They can't open a bank account. They have no identification, and they're not legally in the United States, and they can't cash a check because they're illegal and they can't be in the United States. So the money that they do get, they give to somebody, and half of those paychecks that they do get, they walk into Walmart and wire it to their families who are in another country. So we're feeding on these people. It's an underworld. It's a total
Yeah.
underworld. And for Trump to think that he's going to get rid of that, he's kidding himself and all of us. Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that literally too big of a problem, and I don't, I don't think 4 years is enough time to get, and without a gas chamber.
Yeah.
Flip,
That was Gary
flip,
talking.
flip.
Yeah, let's bleed that one out.
Yeah. Nope, clip that one. Put it on TikTok right now. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful for the next 4 years. I think we're gonna move in some type of a direction that isn't negative. I feel like we've been going at a negative angle for a while now. I think that I'll take a slightly positive slope instead of the negative one that we're on right now. What do you guys think? Next 4 years, good, bad, or no difference?
Uh, you know what? I think there's going to be positives there. I think we're, you know, I think these people that are totally Trumpsters, that are out of their minds, that are totally to the right, hitting themselves to think that everything's just going to be Jim Dandy. But I also think that there's going to be some good that's going to come from all of this. And, if the Democrats don't get their head on their shoulders, um, we're going to be we're going to be looking at a long time of Republican rule.
Yeah.
The problem that I see, and I know I'm going to give Garrett here a chance, but one problem I do see is I don't know how much of Trump's agenda is going to be able to get passed with the slim margins that he has in the House.
Yeah, I think so. Like, how much is,
Right.
and I think that it's going to be, he's based on, the last day or whatever, done a shit ton, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just hope it doesn't like get all jumbled. Like, I feel like there's definitely going to be unintended consequences at some point that we're gonna have to deal with, but I do think that us as a country are going to be less taken
Yeah.
at by the world,
Right.
and that's important.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. You make a great point there. We need to step up, be the leaders.
Yeah.
For ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Been running around like a chicken without a head. So, we're at 53 minutes. Do you guys have anything else that you guys would like to share? Anything that you guys feel like would be important to bring up?
Well, can I just go
Yeah.
off the map for a
Yeah.
second?
Go off the map. Do it.
What do you guys think of Ohio State beating Georgia last night?
No,
I
Notre Dame.
saw
Notre
it
Dame.
coming. I mean, Notre Dame. I'm sorry. Oops. But I saw it coming. Ohio State was a powerhouse.
Yeah, they
Power.
were playing real good last night. I only watched the second quarter, but
Me too. I knew it was over by then.
yes. By the fourth quarter, I thought, okay, maybe Notre Dame has a chance because they got the touchdown and then they got a 2-point conversion. But at the end of the day, Ohio ended up sinking it away with a field goal, and they won the whole thing.
I didn't read it, but somebody said that Marcus Freeman did a bad call. Did you see that?
It was a holding call, but it was on the wrong player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a holding call. I think they called it on like number 9, but it was actually number 6. But it wasn't a bad call. It was still it was still a good call. It just people are always gonna complain. So it's always the refs.
Yeah.
Go Chiefs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
So
the other thing we got to look forward to this weekend. The Chiefs play Buffalo.
they play Buffalo.
It's going to be a good game.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know
insane.
Buffalo. Anybody can beat Buffalo, but then you look at the Chiefs. The
And you
Chiefs
look at
got
the
to,
record too. We're
yeah,
4-0 against the Bills in the playoffs. So
yeah, yeah.
I don't
The
know.
the only thing I look at, and because of you and because of family circumstances, I'm rooting for the Chiefs. But in the same respect, Buffalo has never won a championship.
No.
They've gotten to the championship
Yep.
and they've always been beaten. So
Yep.
it's one of those things.
Yeah, and it's weird. It always seems to come down to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I've said this whole entire season the Chiefs is not a good football team, but they have good strategy and that's why they win. They don't play because they run the ball good or they pass the ball good. They win because they have good strategy. And that's what it's going to come down to game this day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even good plays when it matters the most, I'd say. Yeah,
I'll
it's
tell
the
you
coaches
this.
for sure.
I think whoever wins the turnover battle is gonna
Oh,
be is
100%.
gonna win the game.
100%.
We saw that this past weekend with
Yeah.
all 4 games.
Yeah. The
And who
Ravens and
the Ravens turned the ball over and
5 times.
yeah,
5 times.
yeah.
So
And that's the recipe for defeat. Now on the other side, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Commanders.
Aiden Daniels, the rookie.
I'm rooting for him.
I'm rooting for him too. I really am.
But like the Chiefs, the Eagles are badass.
Saquon Barkley is
Yes, tearing it up.
insane. So yeah, we'll have to talk about it. Our next podcast is on Saturday, and it'll be at 2 p.m. Knox, Lamar folded. Let's talk about that. Yeah, Lamar did fold. He
Yeah.
did. That fumble, dude. That fumble really fucked him up.
Didn't
I
he
mean,
have like 2 or 3?
I think he had Knox. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he had 2 fumbles. Um, it just looked like almost like a rookie mistake, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he definitely folded, and that's on him. But at the end of the day, I don't think he really gives a shit because shit ton of money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like college where you lose a game and you're upset about it. These guys go out there, they lose, and they're still smiling after because they're getting the bag.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll leave you with this. I don't know if it's close or not, but what about Butler in Miami? I don't know if the trade's close or not, but he needs to get out of there, and they need to.
Yeah,
The Heat need to push forward. They have a chance to halfway through the season, and we can push to the playoffs if we do it without Butler.
right.
We don't. If we don't get rid of Butler, I don't think our playoff chances are going anywhere. Let alone we
Right.
may make the playoffs, but we're not going
We're not
anywhere.
gonna make that.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
I'll see you guys next time.
We have 2 viewers now, so we're at an all-time record high as far as viewership. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a hand. 2 viewers, baby. Let's go. That's what we live for.
Tune in next time.
Yeah, tune in on Saturday. It should be really interesting. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but I can tell you that much. It'll be interesting. So, Garrett, do you have anything you want to say on departure?
There's a lot of people in the world.
Yes, there
Too
is.
many.
Yeah, there's too many. So half of you need to. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we will catch up with you guys on Saturday. Oh, oh. Thank you guys for watching and follow if you haven't already. And if you guys want to send a message to see if we could talk about something certain on the next podcast, then we will certainly make sure to do so. So with that